Yo, yo. Once again, it's on. We are back up in this thing. We might not be hearing that again for another opening of the Joe Budden Podcast for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been fireworks lately. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. This pod is released twice a week, hosted by Joe, Rory, Mal, and Parks. The show began in early 2015 and has grown at a crazy speed. They say you shouldn't do business with family or friends because it gets ugly. Well, this is Medusa. Apparently, throughout the success of the pod, everyone isn't eating the same. Because with all the money that's coming in, this isn't sitting right with all the members of the JPB. These niggas are Rory and Mal. The chemistry has been off and forged for months on the pod because Rory and Mal think the wealth distribution ain't hitting right. Joe feels like not only is the pay good, but Rory and Mal are getting overpaid. Eventually, Rory and Mal request to see the accounting and claim they were giving some random Excel spreadsheet with a $400,000 error. What were they expecting? QuickBooks? Last time I checked, Excel is used for accounting, so Joe and Rory and Mal are going back and forth about the paper that this podcast is producing. Where's the dough, Joe? Basically, this is what Rory and Mal wanted to know. Rory wanted to start getting that YouTube money. Joe said no. Rory wanted to see the specifics of the huge Spotify deal. Joe said no. At this point, Joe is feeling disrespected, dissatisfied, disappointed, and demonized by his own friends. Alliteration on y'all niggas. He feels like he's being audited. This upsets the balance of chemistry that makes the JPB successful and fun to watch. I believe on episode 437, Joe went off on these niggas. Joe basically let these niggas know they're under contract and they don't pull any weight on the pod. They don't pay no bills. They basically just show up 2 days a week unprepared and they get a big check for that. He mentioned Mal makes no efforts to branch out or work on merch for the pod. They don't secure any advertising or sponsors. They just work under the umbrella of Joe Budden. Joe slams these niggas for about an hour straight and eventually follows Rory live on air. He also mentioned if they start another pod, they'll be in breach of their contract and they'll get sued. Rory and Mal recently released footage of their side. I saw it on YouTube, but I'm not sure of the original platform it was released on. Kevin Hart also released his thoughts, stating that it was bad leadership and the common denominator for Joe's problems is Joe. About 2 days ago, Joe mentioned some mistakes were made and some would agree with Kevin Hart. My opinion is that it's called the Joe Budden Podcast, and the major draw is Joe. Mal mentioned Joe wasn't doing these numbers alone, and the only reason for the success is because of Rory and Mal. This is true. The problem is they didn't have any ownership and are just bad at business. They were under contract for an allotted amount of cash, and it seems like greed took over their judgment. Rory was talking to his lawyers and getting his head blown up. Mal he seems just so unexperienced and just goes with the flow. So, I mean, it's greed on Joe's side too. Hard conversations should have been made before they started talking and getting famous in the podcast game. I don't think Rory and Mal can start a successful podcast alone, but I could be wrong. Don't come for me. Just joking. These are just my opinions, guys. Relax. But if you have different opinions, please let me know in the comments. Also, hit that like and subscribe button. I have been your boy, A.R. Ghostpin, and I'll see you next time. Peace.